Ever felt that something was off in your relationship? A gut feeling you just couldn't shake? That's exactly where Mark found himself. He and his wife, Sarah, had been married for 8 years. To everyone on the outside, they were the perfect couple. But lately, Mark had noticed a change. Sarah was distant, always on her phone, and her business trips seemed to be getting more and more frequent. It started subtly. A late-night text that she'd quickly hide. A sudden need for privacy when she used to share everything. Mark tried to ignore it, telling himself he was just being paranoid. After all, trust was the foundation of their marriage, wasn't it? He even brought it up once, gently asking if everything was okay. Sarah just laughed it off, saying work was stressful, and he was imagining things. She called him insecure, and Mark, wanting to believe her, dropped it. But the feeling persisted, gnawing at him. The final straw came one Friday evening. Sarah announced she had to go on another last-minute business trip for the weekend. She packed a small bag, gave him a quick, passionless kiss, and was out the door. The house felt empty and cold. That night, tossing and turning, Mark knew he couldn't live with the uncertainty anymore. He needed to know the truth, no matter how painful it might be. The next morning, driven by a desperate need for answers, Mark made a decision that would change everything. He remembered Sarah mentioning the hotel she was supposedly staying at for her conference. With a heavy heart, he got in his car and started the 2-hour drive. He wasn't sure what he was going to do when he got there. Confront her? Make a scene? His mind was a whirlwind of anger, hurt, and confusion. As he pulled into the hotel parking lot, his heart pounded in his chest. He saw her car, and parked right next to it was another car, one he recognized all too well. It belonged to David, a so-called friend of theirs from college. The pieces of the puzzle clicked into place with a sickening thud. The late-night texts, the secrecy, the business trips. It all made a terrible, painful sense. For a moment, pure rage consumed him. He imagined storming into the hotel, finding their room and confronting them. He could picture the shouting, the tears, the ugly, destructive scene. But then, as he sat there, gripping the steering wheel, another thought surfaced. What would that accomplish? It would only give them the satisfaction of a dramatic reaction. It would make him look like the jealous, out-of-control husband. No, he wouldn't give them that. Instead, a strange sense of calm washed over him. It wasn't forgiveness, not by a long shot. It was something else. Clarity. He knew what he had to do. He wasn't going to play their game. He was going to write his own rules. And his first move was pure genius. Mark got out of his car, walked calmly over to Sarah's vehicle, and took out his phone. He took a few clear pictures. Her car parked next to David's. Then he did something completely unexpected. He went to a nearby gift shop and bought a beautiful bouquet of roses, a box of expensive chocolates, and a card. On the card, he wrote a simple, chilling message. "You two look so happy together. Enjoy your weekend. Love, Mark." He carefully placed the flowers, chocolates, and the card on the hood of Sarah's car, right where she couldn't miss them. He took one last look, a quiet sense of resolve settling in his heart. Then he got back in his car and drove home. The 2-hour drive back was silent. He didn't play any music. He just drove, letting the reality of the situation sink in. His marriage was over. The woman he loved had betrayed him. But strangely, he didn't feel broken. He felt empowered. Back at their house, Mark started to pack. Not his things, but hers. He carefully folded every piece of clothing, wrapped every trinket, and placed all of her belongings into boxes. He worked methodically, without anger or tears. He was a man on a mission. By the time Sunday evening rolled around, every trace of Sarah had been neatly packed away and moved into the garage. He then called his lawyer and scheduled a meeting for Monday morning. Imagine Sarah's surprise. She and David, probably feeling smug and clever, would walk out of the hotel, ready to head back to their separate lives. And there, on her car, would be the beautiful gifts, and that simple, devastating note. The panic, the confusion, the dawning horror. Mark had let her know that he knew, but he had done it with such elegance and control that it completely flipped the script. He had taken all the power back. She couldn't call him and scream. She couldn't accuse him of being crazy or jealous. He hadn't confronted them. He hadn't made a scene. He had simply presented them with the evidence of their own betrayal, wrapped in a beautiful, undeniable package. The game was over, and he had won without ever raising his voice. When Sarah finally arrived home late Sunday night, she found a quiet, empty house. The closets were bare. Her side of the bathroom was cleared. On the kitchen counter was a single piece of paper, the contact information for his divorce lawyer. There was no angry letter, no desperate plea, just a simple, final statement. Mark's calm, calculated reaction was a masterclass in handling betrayal. Instead of letting his emotions control him and escalating the situation, he chose a path of quiet strength. He gathered his proof, removed himself from the toxic dynamic, and began the process of moving on, all on his own terms. He didn't seek revenge. He sought peace and self-respect. This story isn't just about catching a cheating partner. It's about the power of maintaining your dignity in the face of immense pain. It's about understanding that sometimes the most powerful reaction is no reaction at all. Mark showed that you don't have to sink to someone else's level to win. By staying calm and acting with intelligence, he protected his own peace of mind and set himself on a path to a better future, free from deceit. He turned a moment of profound betrayal into a moment of personal triumph. What do you think of Mark's approach? Would you have done the same, or would your emotions have taken over? Let us know in the comments below.